First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rokal Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, who are teaching this truth, and a shout out to Yakim that's out there on the four quarters of the earth proclaiming this truth. As you know, I have been in the midst of the car fire. If you hadn't seen my video earlier this morning, I should be wearing a mask while going outside. The weather conditions are unsafe. So I guess this means that Esau's taking a break from chemtrailing us. Well, maybe, but you know, once this thing is under control, he'll probably go back to chemtrailing us. As we know, Shasta County is like one of the #1 areas that they love to chemtrail. So even that is unfit to breathe. Should be wearing a mask just because of the goddamn chemtrails, but you know, it gets in your system, you know. Just for the very few minutes that you're even out there, you know, you're going to get a headache and other things because, you know, you're not meant to breathe that much carbon monoxide. But these chemtrails, man, they're killing us too. But I want to talk a little bit more about the coming destruction. As you know, Whiskey Town, it's completely burned. It's been destroyed. Going to 299 to the coast, you're going to have to take the alternative routes, as they just said in the press conference, which is on my next channel, you know, Confusion to Face Reading 2, which has more of the car fire updates, a little more dedicated to it, rather than the shorter clips, just the longer ends of them. But, you know, this being the year of prophecy, I mean, look at what's happened, you know. I was just, you know, talking about the other things. You know, we were confounding Vocab Malone and this idea that, you know, that he wants to label us as black Hebrew Israelites, and we've been proposing the question, do I look like a black Hebrew Israelite? But, you know, encouraging the northern tribes to come out as well, Issachar and all the Latin tribes to come out, as well as Gad and Reuben to come out and ask the same question. Why not? You know, he wants to put this label that we're just black Hebrew Israelites, and simply we're not. But getting back to this is far from over. It's only 35% contained, so that means 65% is burning. And it doesn't take much for the winds to pick up to turn it back to a fire-nado again. And Lewiston's still under threat. That's about 3 miles from the actual fire on 299. So 299 is not going to be reopened. The road has been completely destroyed. So again, Highway 36 up to 3 over to 299. You could do that, but as far as using 299, the Buckhorn Summit, to come up that way, no. You know, again, if you're used to 36, you could take 36 all the way to the coast. It goes to Fortuna, but if you're not used to it, you'll have to use 36 just a little bit to at least get to Highway 3, which is not as windy as 36. Then you'll be turning left to go into Weaverville. You could not go anywhere near Whiskey Town. It's unsafe there. So that's what the last press conference was. But I was reading out of Jeremiah chapter 50 this morning, so I'm just going to continue from there. Let me get this here. Because Jeremiah 50 is a very long chapter, which is talking about the destruction of Babylon the Great. And was also talking about the Babylon of that time, but you know, he was talking about a future Babylon, which we have not been delivered from yet, but in 1 hour. Which that hour is coming soon. As you can see, wars, rumors of wars, famines and pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places, car fire. I mean, let's face it, that's a destruction, a famine. You know, again, I think I'll just continue in verse 9. I know I read some of this morning, but I'll just go forth. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, which is Russia and its allies, and they shall set themselves in array against her. from thence shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. 200 million nuclear missiles will make their target. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Most High to take vengeance upon her, as she hath done unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword. They shall turn everyone to his own people, and they shall flee everyone into his own land. And you can see that happening now. Many people want to get out of this place because they see that it's a fallen kingdom. They see that, you know, all the hopes and dreams of this being a better place, they can see it for what it is. And keywords is to talk about the elect of us and just the fact that we've been scattered to 4 nations. Verse 17, Israel's a scattered sheep. The lions have driven him away. First, the king of Assyria hath devoured him, and last, these Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, hath broken his bones. And we're still scattered now because, of course, modern-day Chaldea, Babylon the Great, is America. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will punish the king of Babylon and his land. I have punished the king of Assyria. So, you know, as it happened then, it's going to happen again very soon here. And I will bring Israel again to his habitation. Well, we know that that hasn't happened yet. We have not been returned to the land. So this is when Yahushua returns. And he shall feed on Carmel and Bashan, and his soul shall be satisfied upon Mount Ephraim and Gilead. In those days and in that time, saith the Most High, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for. There shall be none. And the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. And that's talking about the elect of his people. We shall be pardoned from this. So I hope this is an encouragement to everyone to stay strong, as you know, again, many places that I would travel to has been taken in just that short amount of time, you know. And if you want to know of the kind of fire, if you hadn't been watching the coverage, you might want to rent this movie, Nature Unleashed Fire. This is a pretty good document about mountain fires because, you know, there's so much dry brush around here. I see so many houses around here that could have caught fire easily just from the hot ashes flying. There's so much brush that's open here that could easily ignite. That's why the fire spread as fast as it did, you know. But the Most High, you know, did spare me, but again, had judged this place as stated before. You know, when you're talking about Homeland Security, you're talking about martial law, you're talking about, you know, FEMA, you know that that's always been the design to depopulate. So, and there are others that are saying, hey, are these things accidents or is this an actual fire? Well, that's a good question because I question everything. I don't just believe what I'm being taught is real. But I will at least say this much, though, that it doesn't take much to start a fire here at all. And it seems that the story does make sense. And the official story is that a trailer hitch... because I know how people drive. I've driven down 299 so many times. They're fucking assholes. They fucking tailgate the fuck out of you. If you only got a 4-cylinder car, they tailgate the fuck out of you. They're fucking assholes. So this guy had a trailer hitch. So he was pretty much, you could say, 8 wheels, 8 or more wheels. And the tire went flat. So he was riding the rims. And didn't even think to gradually slow down to get off of there. Just continued. How are you not going to know that there's sparks flying? I had a BMW with a twin pipes. And I did not have a muffler on it, so the slightest bump and the things would be scraping across the ground. You have to go back underneath the car and tie it with a coat hanger. And that's just driving around town. I wouldn't even thought of taking it on 299. This is, seems to be the results of what had caused this to spark, to ignite. And most of these devastated neighborhoods, they don't look much different than Syria, and haven't we prophesied for a while that eventually all of America is going to look like Syria? It's going to be a ruinous heap. But definitely just looking all around at the devastation, which all these things are within 10 to 15 minutes drive from where I'm at. But 299 will not be reopened anytime soon. That road has to be rebuilt. That's what I did get out of the press conference. You can catch that video on my second channel, Confusion of Face Reading 2. Until then, Shalom, Brakatha to all you out there, and keep on pushing this word. This being the year of prophecy, this is the time for us to go out. There's a cry for wine in the streets, as I said this morning, and we need to be a part of that wine, as it's just about time for us to be ready. Even Apostle Tahar feels that the elect are already sealed, but now we're just trying to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments brought back into the mercies, because we're starting to see judgments pop off. Shalom, Brakatah.